Day YouTube, Sketchblitz Gaming here, coming to you with another video for today. And for this one, I finally managed to do what I thought at one point was incredibly hard and add music. So you're hearing it in the background. It is from YouTube's free music library, completely licensed. So I'm able to play that now in the background of my videos, and you guys can enjoy. So that aside, I'm just trying to adapt to this because I'm not used to music playing in the background, but it should be doable as long as I focus on what I'm actually doing and not the music itself. So let's try getting right into the video. And for this one, I'm going to be continuing my tutorial video of how to draw in Krita. It should be pretty easy. Well, for the most part, I'm already finished, but you know, Krita is Krita, and not everyone can use it, but that's the reason I'm making a tutorial video, so let's get right into it. So I cannot guarantee that Krita has definitively worked for you guys. If not, then feel free to put a comment down below to tell me what's wrong. I don't really work for the company, but I've used this software enough to start animating with it, so I basically have a gist of how it works mostly. That aside though, for this video, I'm going to be discussing the final layer. Yep, I am at the final layer of this, I believe. Now remember, I had left this right here so that I can properly fill it. Paint layer number 1 is the lighting layer, I believe I called it. It could be a little bit misleading though, because what I'm actually about to do is fill this in with the darkest colors possible and shade it. Okay, let's bring that right there. Fill option, growth selection 1, feather radius 1. And from here it is loading. That is not good anti-aliasing. Okay then, I'm going to try growth selection -1, feathering radius 4. Does that work? I think that could work. Yeah, that definitely works for what this is. So, as for the main, however, I will have to be a little careful about that because I basically just chose an identical color to the main itself. So let's see. And a general rule of thumb when you're using the color picker and you want to do shading, aside from doing it on another layer, it helps to just go halfway to the black, the absolute black area. I'm going to go a little bit further because, let's see. Yeah, because that's the color I'm primarily aiming to have right there. It's sick. At least in my opinion. Now, this is a little bit unique for me, but I tend to, let's see. Well, actually, I'm not going to explain that just yet because I'm not quite there. But I think I just overloaded the, nope, it's fine, good. If you're seeing any recording issues with this, just know that it's not Krita, it's actually my PC. My previous one, when I was in college, I dropped it. I was going down the sidewalk, it was around the end of the school year, and you would not believe that the thing just slipped out of my bag like someone had just like yanked it out. It's just on the ground right there, landed on a cold, hard brick sidewalk. Like, I was not happy that day. It's a good thing that I was taught the power of ramen noodles and Pop-Tarts in college because I knew how to save enough money from what my parents allowed to buy a new one. And I've had this one ever since. So let's see. To be honest, I've actually had a long-standing fear of putting copyright music or any type of music in my videos. Primarily because, well, they don't teach us stuff in school, but the main reason for that and that fear is because of the way they went to not teaching it. So I had a class in high school, did not have the best teacher, but he basically said that we were assigned to assemble a list of CD songs for him to listen to. And for each song, didn't matter which one, he would grade, well, or give us a grade accordingly. So everyone had their song picked, except me. Because I was going through some stuff right there, and honestly, I wasn't too tech savvy at the time, but I still gave it an honest shot, so I submitted 5 songs out of 10. And it's not like I couldn't have found the songs, but it's because he didn't elaborate. He never went into the copyright system or anything, or what to do if someone were to demand that we release the songs. He never really explained fair use either, so I, as a student in high school who was relatively socially awkward but adept online, I guess I over-restricted myself back then, so I never really realized until after the assignment and I looked up fair use myself that I don't actually need the artist's permission if I'm using it for criticism or educative purposes. And since he was a teacher, I could have gotten any song I wanted regardless of copyright sent to him. I could even have uploaded it online, though I'm not sure what YouTube allows nowadays. But back then, I could have uploaded it online, and I would not have had to worry about being targeted for potentially spoiling someone's song that they'd been working on for the last few weeks or months. So that was a learning experience I learned too late, but it's made me adept at learning how to handle the copyright system, and I'm glad for that because I found the YouTube library, and now I can use it without having to worry about that fear like overwhelming me or shortening my recording length of these videos. Because if I'm being honest, I want my videos each to be at least 8 minutes long. That is not a good layer. Okay, there we go. So you guys have heard my plans for this video, well, for this channel up to this point. I tried to explain them in the second or third video previously, but I haven't really gotten into how I'm thinking or considering of advertising stuff, like if I were to get a partner or sponsorship. Nothing's set in stone, but as things currently stand, I was contemplating, like, what if I were to only make the videos that I had uploaded like years ago but already had views? What if I made those the ones that are monetized? Like, it's a crazy thing to think about because it doesn't seem necessary, but YouTube is making it so that fitting one advertisement now puts 2 ads, and they've had it like that for a few years now, upsettingly. And I just don't know what direction they're going to go in next, because YouTube is, they don't have to be transparent, honestly. A private corporation will never have to be transparent. Even, not unless they're subpoenaed or sued by court. All they have to do is tell people to sign a contract saying that they will not disclose information, and that's it. But sometimes that's the only way to protect people because, well, the only thing businesses' jobs is to do is to serve people. So all those customers' information has to be protected. But it does allow a lot of loopholes. Fun loopholes for the corporation, not so fun for the consumer. Okay, let's see. Let's get this one right here fully developed. I'd say that's looking pretty good, but I'm not quite there yet. Once I have finished this final layer, and I am still calling it the lighting layer because I'm going to be doing something a little unique here. So you've probably noticed that I'm doing the foreground shading on this layer, but the fact is that there's more to shading in Krita. Well, there can be more if you want there to be, than just adding one color or one level of shading. And this is primarily due to the fill option. It allows you to fill multiple things at the same time without having to worry about it overlapping too much. And I'm going to show you right now. I started describing it at the perfect time. So if I go here, I take red and I go to the fill option, opacity 17, and I just enter it. As you can see, that's a new layer of lighting. However, if I want to undo it, I can also click the previous color, and my current growth selection was -2. I can make that +4 with a feathering radius of 3, and let's see, opacity level 100, and like that, the entire the new shading layer is gone. I did it improperly right there, but this time I did it right. So it looks almost brand new and unaffected, but what this does is it enables you to save the time of creating a new layer. So I'm going to leave that right there, and I'm going to go up here and put that back to the growth selection of -2. Nah, this is not working. The color I used was too bright. I'm going to have to pick a darker shade of red. It might actually have to be black. The music playing right now reminds me of Minecraft. Yeah, that's quite a immediate change. I'm actually going to go for a little bit and restrict that volume level to that until... Nope, never mind. It's fine. It's fine. So, in any case, let's continue where I left off. It looks like black is not going to work either. In that case, I am going to do something special and take the crimson red from the background that I had originally placed there. Okay, so I've primarily finished the manticore's shading. Well, as far as concerns me right now. But let's see, let's go here. It takes a lot of patience to do the shading, because what you have to do sometimes is you have to fill a picture in it and then start reverse shading. And it's the kind of thing that you don't really understand until you have to do it, because, well, you always hear about shading, but you never hear about people who have to fill the whole layer in and then start undoing it. I mean, I'm sure some of you have seen it on the speed paints and whatnot, but they don't always say it. Like, they just do it and it's done instantly because it's magic and it's paint tool side and whatever else. But it just doesn't seem to explain too often. So I'm going to give it my shot of explaining it. That autosave just happened right there. I'm glad that's a feature in Krita because I don't save while I record normally. In any case, I am primarily done with this arm. That shading is finished. And let's see, now it's time for this arm. Truth be told, this might not be the final layer actually. This might be the second to final layer. because there is one layer in Krita that you can use after developing everything, and it's called the Special Effects layer. I'm honestly just making up the names of these things, but this is theoretically the order that all art must go in. You need to have the source of the special effects before the special effects themselves, otherwise it looks very bad, basically. It's like shading without a body, and then when you draw the body in, the shading's all over the place. Unless the shading itself is the body, like if you're drawing a phantom or a wraith or a ghost or something. But let's see. Let's get this done right here. Okay. That's some relaxing music for, even by my standards. But let's see. This is going to be tricky. -2 plus 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, next is the grass. This incredibly bright grass. I'm not even going to spare it. I'm putting it right here at one of the darkest shades. Opacity is 23. I'm moving that to 100. And as for these wounds and, well, these bits of missing earth, I'm going to make those black. Same with the character's boots, because it's a nice compliment. Same right here, here. This is actually an incredibly easy way of shading this, honestly. I wasn't thinking of taking that little time on the character, but it works, so I'm not judging. In any case, let's make sure that everything is properly distinguishable. Nah, I messed up on the head right there. I'm going to keep it like that. Okay, so this is where the reverse shading becomes useful again. I forgot to explain it earlier. But basically you take a color, or you go to the fill option and you take the brightest setting of that color, basically, and instead of erasing it necessarily, you can just go to the opacity and start filling it in. I would not recommend filling it in too much, but you know what? No, this still isn't a proper explanation of reverse shading. That level is too dark. There we go. This video might be about 44 minutes long by the time I'm finished because, to be honest, I'm pretty OCD about art. Once I start drawing it, I want to make sure it's perfect. I was that kid in school whose art was pretty good, but someone else was always better than me, and seeing their art always made me feel bad about myself because I was just dealing with low self-esteem at the time. Oh, I did not have the eraser on. Okay, this works. But yeah, growing up in school and seeing these people drawing incredible pieces of art, it just blew me away. So I just decided to get a major in art in college. I'd say it was worth it because my major was one of the few ones that doesn't require personal contact, and immediately after, the coronavirus hit. So, yeah. The people I would have worked for, let's just say they're not around, or they are currently at home sipping their morning cup of coffee, or whenever you're watching this video. Okay, so this is where the reverse shading comes in, finally. I think I finally have an explanation because I basically invented the term. So you go to the eraser, you click the opacity level, make sure that the pencil is on the airbrush soft. And what you want to do is you want to start shading like this. And you want to just keep being as careful as you need to be and clicking until you have finally gotten to the point. It's a specific point because it has to look realistic, but you want to get right around here. So the moment that you have a part where it looks like the light is breaching through the shadow, it gives that nice, clean aesthetic feel to it that a lot of art pieces try to copy. You may have seen it in some art or anime pieces like Naoto Shishida. He is an animator of Dragon Ball Z, and I can say that his work is incredibly impressive. I believe he also did some, well, he did some frames and whatnot in Digimon, let's see, Digimon Adventure 2020, if I remember correctly. The final fight against, not saying its name because the algorithm might think I'm saying something else, but the final fight was animated in his style. That's about as much as I know about it, honestly. I mean, as long as it's animated properly, I don't care. I was thinking of doing some Pokemon videos on this channel. I have been, but I'm starting to consider if I were to do Digimon channels instead. Well, not instead, but rather alongside them. Might be a little bit hard because I'm more versed in Pokemon sometimes. I mean, at least I think I am. The truth is that I was one of those few people that knew that Seed Millenniumon was a Digimon before Digimon itself even revealed him in the anime. So, I guess I have a proficient level of knowledge of it, but that doesn't necessarily mean videos are going to be good. Like, I'm going to be honest. Digimon has a bunch of different Digimon in it, similar to Pokemon, and like, the thing about them that makes them cool is that each of them is unique, but the thing about the fandom is that everyone only likes Wargreymon and Metal Garurumon. Like, personally, I am a Pseudomon fan, because he's got defense, he's got offense and a ranged weapon. He's basically the ultimate Digimon, if you're not including Millenniumon, because for the most part, well, Millenniumon might be mega low. Chimeramon, if you're not including Chimeramon, then Zudomon is an absolute menace, whether it's in the game or lore. He's basically a Digimon that started out as this tanky gray walrus and whatnot, but like his Digivolution and his shell, his hammer, I believe, and his horn are all from other ultimate Digimon that are even stronger, which he defeated. So it's just like, it's just a massive wait, what moment when you find out that he's been taking out ultimate levels before without having a type advantage against them. Okay, so let's see. I have to be careful about this because this might overload my computer. Here we go. If I start erasing this, ooh, wow, then I can get the exact texture I want. It's just a matter of getting the right size. did not explain a single thing I just did. This is supposed to be a tutorial video. So what you want to do is you want to go to this bar right here, click ink, and select this option to ink-8 sumai.alt-e. I cannot say that properly. But in any case, this final part right here, this is a special effect that I wasn't planning on using up to this point, but now that I am, it would be pretty stupid to not. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you guys how to create fur textures in Fur Affinity now. Well, not Fur Affinity, excuse me. I did come from there, but really, I'm going to show you how to use this texture in Krita. If you want to go to Fur Affinity, go ahead. I guess the mainstream furries are there, but I'm just on YouTube here to draw art and get some money. You know, like everyone else kind of hopes for, but basically you can go right here and start shading this level, this layer. Truth is, honestly, that I am not in regards of this on Fur Affinity, but let's see. Or rather, what I should say is that the way I'm on, you're not going to find me. Let's just put it like that. Okay, that's too big. Okay, so something you want to do with the first shading layer with this is to take it, put it right here. And what you never want to do is go beyond the crest of the darkest shade and the lightest shade. You always want to make sure that the darkest shade is in the slightest bit visible, because when looking at something like with light or whatnot, it often might not appear like it, but it gives off that vibe. Nope, turns out I'm wrong. Okay. Well, actually, no, I was actually right, so... Man, it's actually hard doing tutorial videos because you have to already know everything you're going to say ahead of time. But in any case, yeah, turns out that I was wrong about being wrong. So that is the fully shaded arm. I have not drawn the claws yet because, well, I'm saving that for the special effects layer. But let's move on to the next one. I plan on probably uploading about 5 videos today, just because my weekend was so busy. It really put me off in a way to not be able to upload to this channel, because I want to be able to see it grow, and I want to be able to see it grow as I'm creating it. Like, it's not too much fun to see like videos get views and whatnot without uploading something, because it feels like you're not trying to earn people's subscriptions. It feels more like you're just getting it handed to you, basically. Nah, that's not good enough. The opacity's too high. Gonna take that down to 26. it's not worth it either. Okay, let's get rid of this small arrow right here. Oh, wow, okay. Never mind. Let's put this down to about right here, shading level 18. So, to elaborate on what I was saying earlier, I have, I am kind of a furry artist, honestly. I don't plan on uploading too much human art on this channel because it's uncanny valley. There are so many ways to draw a human improperly unless you go to art school or college to learn. The eyes are either too far out, or they're too big, or the feet are too small, or the hands aren't the right length. The legs are too small, so you have to draw the upper body like that. I forgot the name of it. It was a Cartoon Network show that did not do a good representation of the original concept art. Basically, they chibi-fied everything and gave them tiny legs. Thundercats. It was Thundercats. In any case, what I'm going to say, and this might be insulting, but that's the way people draw when they don't know how to draw a body. So, the way that I draw humans, I try to make sure they're as realistic as possible, but the interesting thing about that is that no matter how realistic you can draw a human being, they can always be uncanny to someone else because some people are used to anime, others are used to cartoons like JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, where characters can simultaneously bend themselves in 5 different directions, point their finger at you in one direction, and have their entire hand facing the other one, and say, "You've fallen into my trap and don't even realize it. This is my stand." Pencil. It erases all things from reality. And they'll just go on carrying like that, and it works because it's stylistic. But not everyone can copy that style, so. The way that I am on for Affinity, as I was saying earlier, and I will explain this, the reason you guys cannot find me there is because I primarily lurk. I'm looking at other people's art, and trying to figure out the best way to improve my style based on how I see them using theirs. It's a nifty ability I learned to use as an artist. It was very handy in college because there were a bunch of really talented artists there, and I learned a bunch about how to take their individual techniques and make them work for me without plagiarizing or copying their style. It sounds a little ridiculous to say that a style can be copied, but if an artist does something specifically and they're known for it, it may not be called plagiarizing, but it's too unoriginal to, for anyone to get away with. Consider Leafy. Anyone who uploads videos in that animation, in that reaction style, is going to be called the next Leafy. It's unavoidable. No one can even say or do anything about it. They might not even know Leafy is real, or if he's still alive. I haven't heard from him in a few years, or rather, I haven't heard of him, never really met him. But I can say for a fact that sometimes if you copy someone's style for too long, it pushes your luck as a content creator. It doesn't matter if you're an artist or if you're an animator or video maker on YouTube, basically. It all catches up eventually, and it might not take you down, but it'll become the only thing you're known for. And that is what will take you down. People's perception of you doesn't have to be from what they actually know about you. It just has to be what they think they know, and from that, you can get canceled. And that's the unfortunate thing about YouTube. I'm probably going to be saying this in, I don't know. That did not fill. Why did that? Oh, it's eraser. Okay. As I was saying, I'm probably going to be saying that in a few years or so. Not for me, definitely. Hopefully not me, because I plan on keeping this channel as content-friendly, family-friendly, and whatnot as possible without it getting forcibly moved to the family-friendly section of YouTube. I do not like that section at all. It's, as an adult, I just don't feel like it's for me at this point. Like, there are things I want to talk about without being shoehorned into that category. But in any case, as I was saying before, it's okay to like use someone else's style, and that's why I'm showing mine so willingly, as long as you put your own style on their style. No one's going to be the next Gangnam Style, or hopefully no one is going to be the next Pin Pineapple Apple Pin, because that was very annoying. I'm saying that as both a content creator and as, well, as a human being on YouTube. I could not understand for the life of me why people like that video. But it's like, it died, it was a fad, people don't know about it now. Mentioned it to someone at my job recently and they didn't know about it, and they were also used to YouTube, relatively. Well, rambling aside, it looks like I am mostly done with this. But as I was saying earlier, kind of forgot to explain. Well, no, I forgot that I forgot. It's memoryception over here. I forgot that I already explained it. In any case, I am mostly done with this piece. This is just about the final bit of what I am doing. So what you want to do now is you want to go to the eraser and start erasing the lighting that you added. The fun thing about lighting is that you can erase it instead of having to add it and worry about it going over the lines. Just like, once you get rid of it once, it's just gone. Unless you Control Z or something. That aside, let's see. It seems that I am out of songs to play. Yep, it has reached the end. Well, I'm going to restart that playlist right here. I'm going to have to find some, don't know how best to describe it. I'm going to have to find some action-based songs. Definitely was not about to say action-based. I was about to say something much more graphic. But I'm going to need to find a song like that on this playlist to use when I'm playing Trackmania or some of the other games. Those teeth are bothering me. They are way too white. They are way too white. Oh, yeah, this is a special tip about shading. Like, when you move on to something's teeth and you need them to be white, if you want to add shading to them, you might realize that they're too small to properly shade. Like, that does not look good, what I just did. So what you want to do is move the growth selection to 0 and the feathering radius to 1. And what this does is it makes the teeth appear more organically shaded. They don't look half as, they don't stand out, the pixels, so to say. And after that, you can go through with the eraser at 100%. I would recommend doing so at 2 pixels or 4 pixels wide. And you just start doing half the teeth like this. final canine. That look is bothering me. It looks like it's not supposed to have eyes, basically. Or rather, not supposed to have pupils. Okay, so if you're at this point in the video, I have mainly touched up on this second to last video. I am not actually finished here. I have one final layer. I just don't think of it normally, but that would be the special effects layer, and I will do that in the next video. So I thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed, because, well, for the most part, I am primarily done now. This was quite a lengthy video. I'm not used to posting one this length, but if you enjoyed, feel free to leave a like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.